and welcome to episode 53 of the Fiber and Dice podcast. It is our first episode in January 2016. So, welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and welcome to any new viewers. We're excited to have you along for this gaming and fibery ride. My name is Rebecca. You can find me as Engineers Falcon on Instagram and Ravelry. You can find the group for the podcast on Ravelry as
Fiber and Dice.
Fiber and Dice. Again, longtime viewers will know we keep him around for all the practical things here because otherwise I don't keep up with them. And you can find my shop for Handspun Fiber on Etsy as Bluebonnet Fibers. So this is my sweet husband.
Hi, I'm Charles. You can find me all those places as CS Gaiden.
Except Etsy.
Yeah, I'm not on Etsy. Well, I am as a user, but not as a purveyor of handcrafted goods.
You make it sound so very fancy. I love it. You can find show notes on the weeks that we make show notes at bluebonnetfibers.com. I hope to blog there this year, so yes, keep your eyes out for new bloggy things there. Peaks and pitfalls. We are recording a little late. It's not even related to the standard list of excuses and apologies. Well, I guess technically. The battery on my laptop died, so to film, I would have had to sit where it was plugged in so I didn't kill it, which would have been in the chair, and I've blogged from that chair. Not blogged. Well, I've blogged from that chair too, but the podcast I most remember from the big tan chair is when Keegan had his appendix out, and at 2 o'clock in the morning I couldn't sleep, so I podcasted instead. And Charles was sleeping with him up at the hospital that night. They didn't sleep. They watched Disney Channel all night because apparently you come right out of surgery and are raring to go and watch TV and play all night.
Yeah. Just had to strap him back to the chair or the hospital bed.
He was ready to go. He went in at 12:30 for surgery.
Yeah.
And by 1:30 he was out, and 2 he was awake, and he's ready to start a whole new day. I was pretty impressed. He's a resilient little thing.
Powers of youth.
Yes, the powers of youth. So I guess that was our only pitfall this week, was waiting for the new battery to come so I could charge it and then sit wherever I wanted without having to drag cords around the house. We had an awesome New Year's weekend. We finished all 4 of our game challenges last year by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah.
We started Pathfinder 20 minutes before the new year rolled in and played Fast and Furious. But since we've gotten most of it played before the new year rolled over, we totally counted it. I was not going to count because we missed by half a game.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But we did. The last couple games were like Fast and Furious. There was no discussion. There was no, like, we were at friends' houses, so they were just like watching our intense. Like, I mean, we were busting out. Because 2 hours until New Year, we still had like 4 games left. And one of them was Lord of the Rings, the living card game. And one of them was Pathfinder,
the adventure
card game. And so neither one of those are extremely long and intense anymore because we know what we're doing now. But they're not short either.
Yeah.
So.
And at that point, they will handle more than 2 players. They play, both of those go 1 to 4. But trying to bring people in who hadn't played last minute in a hurry.
Build new characters and decks.
Yeah.
So they all watch Studio C. If you are not a purveyor of Studio C, it's hilarious. It's a sketch comedy out of BYU. So funny. I might make a formal media break out of that someday.
Yeah.
So they watch Studio C sketches at the table with us while we busted out our last few games. So, and the Geeklings and I are back to school. We've started our new semester. We are finishing up 6th grade. We have started the Middle Ages, Renaissance, and Reformation. So I like the Renaissance a lot. So I'm excited about this. I think this is going to be a really good semester where I've got a lot of really fun things. And they're a little more independent, which is also fun. So, anything else, peaks or pitfalls for you, dear?
Well, just Christmas in general. But
you missed that episode.
Oh, I did miss that episode, yes. I watched you film part of it from like 5 feet away, but I still have missed it. Yes, Christmas was awesome.
We did. Our whole holiday.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Mountain of Conquered Things. I have thought about all the things. I have not done many of them. I have finished Quest. It is not soaked. I was spinning this. This is Targi from Fat Cat Knits. This was our Dungeons and Dragons colorway from our yarn along earlier in the year that she dyed for our group. I am very pleased with it. It is gorgeous grays and greens and browns and golds and little bits of purples and all sorts of different colors. It was not even off the wheel on Christmas Eve, and my mom said, "Where's that headed?" And I said, "To the shop." And she said, "For how much?" And I said, $43. And she said, "Here," and handed me the cash. So it is a finished object, but it is also in base camp because it's going to become a cowl for her. So I think it's going to be a Father Time cowl by Steve from Dramatic Knits and Feeding Man Fiber Arts. That's their hand dyed yarn. Gorgeous. They make gorgeous stuff. I finished socks in December from one of their bases. One of the sock bases, and it was marvelous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. They just have an incredible sense of color sense and how to use them together to be beautiful. So, the other thing I finished is washcloths. I have decided that I'm never going to quit knitting washcloths. I always say this is it, but no. I'm back to using cotton. These are Christmas gifts for a friend. Oh, somebody wants to talk to me.
Uh-huh.
Can you blame them, really?
They can wait.
They can wait, though. This is cotton from...
Is this the I Heart Cotton? I
Yes.
Love Cotton?
Yes.
We got it at Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby. That's the word I was missing. The first set I did was I just used one ply. Not one ply, one strand at a time. I decided to double that and see if I liked it better, and I do. So this is when I doubled it. It just makes a much more rugged, less floppy, less porous washcloth. So this is the rest of what I'm giving to a friend for Christmas. And then for my mom's birthday, I started some for her out of a slightly different color. So I will continue to work on those. So those are Jenna's are in finished objects. Mom's are in base camp.
Oh, no.
Climbing the mountain. Climbing the mountain. I knit sock swatches over the holidays because I needed something little. I was tired of washcloth, so I did something little. This is for our friend Steven that we game with in New Mexico. And it is this Yarn vs. Zombies. I'm mostly showing you the swatches. I say that. I've lost one of the swatches already. For my sister, it's the swatch that's lost. And for the engineer, and that swatch looks like this. For him, I gave him choices because he's the pickiest. And these highly variegated yarns don't need a lot of pattern, in my opinion, because the yarn is so gorgeous. So I do Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern for all of those, texture for all of those. But since the engineer has Dr. Stripes, I let him pick. And so I did Hermione's Everyday Sock. I did a vanilla latte where you just do some slip stitches around the color changes. And I did 1x1 ribbing. And after all of that work, he chose Hermione's Everyday Sock texture, which he already has socks in, and whatever.
Joy.
He likes them. I will probably knit every single pair of socks for him ever in the history of time in Hermione's Everyday Sock texture. But that's really okay. I like it. I can do it in my sleep. So I don't mind mixing it up. I've got lots of fun cable-y socks I want to try, but if people want Hermione, they can have Hermione. And who wouldn't want Hermione? I have switched from size 1 and 2 needles to zeros, so we will see how this goes. The ironic thing about all of this is that I knit up all these swatches, and then I was with Stephen and Karen over New Year's. I measured neither foot. So I will have to call them and get them to measure their feet so I can write up the actual formula, math, all the numbers. The other thing, and this is not the first time you've seen it, but it's the first time I've had all the pieces, I am going to make a noble attempt to repair the Cat Loved sock that I knit for my sister. It's got that, and it's got quite a few holes. I think it's going to need a new toe and then some repair. And the other sock might need some repair too. There are sections that are Kitty loved all the way through. So the darning egg from Knitpicks got here, and I dug out the scraps of yarn I had. Oh, it's in the cuff.
Oh, I thought there was a larger hole somewhere.
Hello, peekaboo. So, and I guess if worse comes to worse, I could just take the cuff off too and reknit it. It wouldn't be that hard. So, I say not that hard. I've never done any of those things, so there will be an element of figuring out how all that works. So, that's what's climbing the mountain and pretty much base camp. That's pretty much what is in the knitting pile. In the spinning pile, I showed you Quest. I am currently working on, and this is kind of shop news as well, I have started a new listing in the shop that I am calling First Player Tokens. If you have played worker placement games, you know that one of the things you can do to get an advantage is to buy the first player token on your turn so you can go first the next time. So, I have started a first player listing for this gorgeous fiber. I need to work on that bobbin. This was dyed by Wool Gatherings. I am calling it New Year's Fireworks because it has all those bright, fun, fireworky colors. Cover the engineer up. So, I'm halfway through it. It will be done this week. It is listed in the Bluebonnet Fiber Shop as New Year's Fireworks First Player Token. And it is at a discount if you order it before I finish it. Once it is finished, it will go up in price because I'll have the actual yardage, which is how I figure the final cost. But if you want to claim it before I have a final yardage on it, I will cut you a little deal on it. So you can look for it there. There's probably about 15 things maybe up in the shop now, 10 or 15. So go and browse and see if there's anything there you like and look for that one. Base camp for spinning is this fiber dyed by Sweet Georgia. And it's gorgeous. So this will be on the wheel probably sometime this week, and I will also put up a first player token listing for it. When I change this, if nobody claims it, when I change this from a early listing to a buy it at the regular price.
There it goes.
And the bobbin fell apart. It was an old bobbin. Then this will go up as the new first player token. So, yes, that is very geeky language and possibly confusing, and I may change my mind on what I call it later on, but that's all I've got right now. So, deal with it. That sounded really mean. I did not mean that really mean at all. My carving out time and ducks in a row this week are pretty much the same thing. I started sorting all my photos on my phone into galleries so I can use them more easily and realized I have multiple pictures of every knitting and spinning project I have ever done. And I put none of them into Ravelry as projects, which is not mandatory. There's not a rule that says you have to put your spinning and knitting projects on Ravelry. Lots of people don't, but they're really nice projects. And now that I'm playing in House Cup, I think I would like them to be there. So I'm going to try to carve out time to get my ducks in a row and get my stuff up on Ravelry. Maybe. It's something I really want. I just don't know if I want to do the actual work to get there. Media break. It's been a fun media in our house. One, we got to see the Star Wars The Force Awakens. I know this is probably old news because it's been out for like a month now, but I really liked it. It was the first, oh no, this was my media break last time, wasn't it? We'd already seen it.
We had seen it the last time you filmed, yes.
I'm sure I've already talked about this. Never mind.
It is still awesome.
It is still awesome, and we're still going to go see it again. And it's still the first PG-13, slightly more grown-up, not cartoony movie that we took the kids to without seeing it first. So none of us knew what to expect. So that was fun. There's been much theorizing around our house. Yeah. Who is who, and who do they belong to, and where did they come from, and what's going to happen. Just
watching them see it all happen. Yeah, I just look down the aisle and see their faces. Yeah, either that or just like huge grins. So it was really awesome. So it's also fun. We are a very literature discussing household. We are always talking about theories of this and that and trying to figure out what's going to happen in the books we read. And so it's nice to have seen that that's really rubbed off on our geeklings and that they are very
figuring out the plot ahead of time minded.
Yep.
So I think that's a good life skill for being able to write papers in college, being able to discuss literature and movies as if they were literature. I'm a fan of that. The other thing, there's quite a few things on my media break. Maybe that's why I don't have so much stuff done this week. We have been gorging on Netflix. We are binge watching lots of things. One is Last Man Standing with Tim Allen. I think it's hilarious. I think it's the funniest show I've watched in a long, long time. Laughed and laughed and laughed. So we're doing that in the evenings. On the nights that we're not watching, what else? Psych.
Yeah.
We're doing a Psych rewatch. So irreverent and funny. I love it. It's as funny as the first time we watched it. We watched it in real time the first time.
Yeah.
And I haven't rewatched much of it since. We didn't watch it in reruns or anything much. So we are trying to catch up on Doctor Who. We are behind on whatever the most recent season is.
I don't think we've gotten, well, the most recent one on Netflix. The series that just ended like a couple weeks or a month ago, I guess.
We
We
don't
haven't
have
seen it
access to
yet.
yet. Because we have not paid for,
Amazon,
yeah, we haven't been on Amazon.
whatever the, yeah.
If we catch up then on Netflix, then we may go ahead and get it. But we introduced our children to Leverage. Did you guys watch Leverage? I loved Leverage. Leverage and Psych and White Collar, and there were just a handful. What's the doctor one?
Oh, Royal Pains.
Royal Pains. We watched all of those at about the same time. They all aired somewhat simultaneously. The period when all our children were like newborns and toddlers and little, and we had lots of time to sit up in the middle of the night with them and watch TV before they were old enough to know what we were watching. Law and Order. We watched a lot of Law and Order in those days. But I think they're ready for Leverage. And so we started Leverage, and they are captivated. Every single night we watch a Leverage, and they are like, Wiley watches Parker, and she's like, oh. And they'll like, girl thief, exciting, brilliant, and Wiley just loves it, and it's fun to watch her like it. So, The engineer is playing lots of Star Wars Battlefront on his new PS4.
Yay! That is a lot of fun. And I've never really been into shooters much before, and this one, and maybe it's a theme, and maybe it's more accessible than some of the others have been for me. But it's clicked for me in a way that some of the others haven't.
He placed first place playing online in an air raid the other day. It was awesome.
Yeah, the flying one. There's flying stages where you go around. You only go back and forth. Like this mission, you'll be on the Rebel side. Next mission, you'll be on the Imperial side, and then usually on the same map. And then it'll switch to a new map, and you go back to the Rebel side and back and forth. So the flying ones, you're in an X-wing or an A-wing, and then on the Imperial side, you'd be in a TIE fighter or a TIE fighter advance. But then there's all the ground-based ones where you're trying to,
protect or
Not die.
destroy things, not die. Those are not his forte.
No, but I'm getting better.
He's getting better.
But yeah, so you're trying to capture different areas and defend them from the other forces. They go back and forth as well.
And he has some long distance friends that play, so he can visit with them and team up with them online, which is really fun. I enjoy it. I talked him into putting the PS4 in the bedroom. I was like, please don't put it in the living room. Please just put it in the bedroom so that we can sit in bed and play video games. It was a good choice. I'm liking having it in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I can snuggle up in bed and read or knit or watch podcasts, and good times.
Yep.
Giveaways. Did you watch episode number 52? I know that probably 4 of you have not, because I have lots of prizes unclaimed, which is fine. I know it's the holidays and everybody's busy. But I gave away lots of prizes in that episode, and only half of them have been claimed, which is probably pretty good odds over the holidays. But almost all of the prizes for last year were announced in that one. So, and there are still, look at these beauties that are still unclaimed. This is London Fog from Fat Cat Knits on Variegated BFL. These are the prizes for the Fat Cat Knits Yarn Along from last summer and fall. So, if one of these is yours, you need to PM me and let me know, because they're gorgeous and I like them very much. I don't want to send them to you, but I will, because I said I would.
So the other ones, the ones that are claimed, we should be mailing out this week.
Yep, they're headed on their way. So, the Primrose Fiber has not been claimed yet either. So,
Over here.
no, we're still here, but that list is here.
Oh,
We finished our 365 and our 10x10 gaming challenges and our Fiber and Dice challenges and our 2x2 challenges. And as promised and on time this time, I have drawn winners for all of last year's Instagram Fiber and Gaming challenges. So, are you ready? I'm very excited about these. The hashtag Fiber and Dice 10x10 winner for 2015, which is $60 of Amazon money for board games, was Christine, KDLB, and it was for, she was playing Castles of Burgundy in the picture that won. You want to know the honest to goodness truth? Before she won, I won 5 times. I random number generated myself 5 times before I random generated someone that was not me. In fact, in these drawings, I won 7 times. 7 times, people.
it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. So, I am the biggest winner of all. No, I really do feel like I won because I got to learn about so many games this year and had so much fun. And I have to say that I would have been tickled with anyone who won because I enjoyed it all. But Christine did far and away the most gaming of any of us, even more than me. So I thought it was pretty awesome that when it was done picking me, the random number generator picked her. For 2x2, there were 101 entries for that. And the winner was, this is for a $30 gift card to Amazon for games, was Lil Pixels. So, let me know, PM me, and I will talk to you about getting you Amazon money for games. So, and it was fun to get to know her through games because we talked a lot about gaming on Instagram this year. She and I did, so that was pretty fun. And for Fiber and Dice 2015, I gave away a pattern every month, but at the end, I did a drawing for a skein of handspun yarn. And that was 314 entries for that. And the winner from that was Cece Ullman, who is the hostess of Geeky Girls Knit.
Yes.
I have so many friends that have geeking and knitting in their podcast, and my poor brain confuses them all. But, so Cece, you are a winner, and I will send you pictures of the stash and let you pick whatever you want, and I will ship it to you over in Scotland. I am excited. So, those are the winners for those. And if you won something, PM me and I will arrange with you how to get you what you need. So, the only year-long challenge we're going to do this year, I hope to do some smaller challenges. If people donate things for giveaways, I would love to give those away. We can do all sorts of different games for that. But the only big year-long, especially gaming Instagram challenge we're going to do is we're going to continue the Fiber and Dice hashtag Instagram challenge. Who does that apply to? Anyone who plays board games and knits and does those things at the same time. And when I say knit, I really mean fiber. Do you knit? Do you crochet? I have been known to weave scarves and to spin yarn while gaming. So if you do any of those yarny things, this applies to you being the Fiber and Dice challenge. Mm-hmm. It is an Instagram challenge where you take a picture of your gaming and your yarning at the same time, and you post it to Instagram with the hashtag HFH. Do not put that. I will never be able to find you. Hashtag FIBERANDANDDACE, Fiber and Dice. To qualify, you must be a member of our Ravelry group. And if you have not in the previous year gone into the Instagram challenge thread, go in there and tell me who you are on Instagram so I will know who you are when I draw your name. Because we have had in the past when I've drawn winners that did not qualify because they weren't members of the group. And I don't want that to happen to you because free patterns are fun. Mm-hmm. I will draw at the beginning of every month for everything from the previous month and let you pick a pattern off Instagram, and I will gift it, not off Instagram, off Ravelry. Oh my goodness. Focus, Rebecca. So we'll run that all year, and then at the end of 2016, I will pick one person from the whole year and spin fiber up for you into yarn. I guess that's what you would spin it into.
Usually. You get creative. Do
I
something
could
else.
get creative. I don't know what.
but
I could felt you a bird's nest. No, you don't want me to be creative. You really just want me to spin the fiber into yarn for you. So, be a member of the group. Make sure that you go onto the thread and let me know who you are so I can find you. And then game away and hashtag it, and I will come and hunt you down. And sometimes I even chat on those. Sometimes I don't. It depends on how much time I'm spending on Instagram for the week. If I come in and visit with you, or just, look at the end of the month and say, oh my goodness, a lot of people game this month. So, I don't know that there's much else challenge related. Did I miss anything?
No, I think that covers it.
Who, what, when, where, why, how. I think I covered all of those things.
Yes.
You can only win the monthly drawing for the pattern once per calendar year, but you are still eligible for the fiber at the end of the year. So obviously, even if you win in January and you keep gaming, you increase your odds of winning the handspun. So quite a fun little group that talks about gaming on Instagram.
Yeah.
I like it. Which brings us to
Gamerly News.
Gamerly News. We have started all of our new challenges. Despite finishing them at midnight hysterically playing. We kept 365, which is to game 365 games this year. We kept
100 by 1. Yeah.
Yes, which is to play 100 different games one time each. Obviously, we double and triple dip into these categories because nobody's got time for that.
Yeah.
And we kept our 10 by 10, which kind of morphed into 12 by 10. It's always 10 by 10, play 10 games 10 times in a year with an alternate. So it's always been really 11 games, the 2 other years we've done it. But then we couldn't narrow it down, so we just made it 11 games and an alternate. So I'm calling it 12 by 10. Because the truth is, we're going to play the alternate as much as we play anything else. It is not in our nature not to finish things. So, would you like to talk about the games on our list?
Sure.
I guess we can take turns.
Yeah.
Coming back for the 3rd year in a row is...
The Lord of the Rings living card game. And yeah, it's too heavy to try and pull off the shelf.
Yeah, it's huge.
it
Fantasy
is-
Flight Games.
Yep. And it's cooperative. It plays 1 to 4 players. And you pick heroes from, at this point, all throughout the time period of the books, Hobbit through Lord of the Rings, and go on quests. So it's you and whoever else you're playing with in your deck of heroes and allies and equipment, versus an encounter deck, which is all sorts of different quests from,
Wickedness.
yeah,
Pulled
fighting
from the
trolls,
depths of Hades.
hunting Gollum.
It's really fun.
Yeah, and a lot of the main quests are outside the plot of the books.
Yeah.
So
So
they're
all sorts of new adventures.
Yeah.
Obviously, we enjoyed enough that this is the 3rd year it's made the 10 by 10 list. And we're still not nearly through all the decks we've bought. It's a living card game, which means you buy the base set. And then instead of buying expansions like you would buy for Pokemon, where you buy a pack of cards and get random cards in it, you buy 1 new box every so often if you want to. And it has a set in it. It's a certain quest, a certain number of heroes to add to your deck. So you know exactly what you're getting, you know what quest you're getting into, and you know what heroes you can add to your deck before you buy it. So you can pick and choose which ones you want. We so far have picked and chosen every single thing they've published.
all the things.
All the things. Number 2 on our list, making also its 3rd appearance in a
Yes.
row, is Mice and Mystics. And that is a cooperative dungeon crawling game that we play with as a whole family. We are mice. The original game, Mice and Mystics, which we played the 1st year, you are defending the castle from the evil sorceress who's turned you all into mice. Last year, most of our plays were spent in the Heart of Glorm, which is more adventuring in the aftermath of Mice and Mystics. And we will spend this year in the Downwood Tales expansion, which is the mice going out from the castle into the Downwood and all the adventures that they have there. So,
It's a lot of fun, and again, it's cooperative, so it works
Lots
very
of
well.
miniatures.
Yeah, lots of miniatures. It works very well as a family game because you don't have to worry about. You can help each other a lot more than if it's competitive.
And I would say siblings getting their feelings hurt. It's more like the parents getting slaughtered by the very competitive 11-year-old. She's so good at games.
Yes.
So very good at games. They're both good at games, but she is vicious.
Yep.
Vicious.
Um,
Making its second appearance
Yep.
in a row
is
is
the Pathfinder adventure card game, which sounds on the surface sounds similar to the Lord of the Rings card game. This is set in the Pathfinder role-playing universe. We're playing the newest quest. It's over there now.
oh yeah,
The Wrath of the Righteous. Last year we played the
Rise of the Ruin
Yeah,
Lords.
I confuse those names in my head.
It's okay, we love you anyway.
So in this one, you have your character, and instead of having a character sheet like you would in a normal role-playing game, you have a deck of cards, and they're your equipment and armor and spells. And so you draw a hand of cards, and that's what you've got currently. And then you spend them as hit points or abilities, and then draw more. So when your deck runs out, you die in that game, or at least that session. It's not permanent like it would be in a standard role-playing game
Yeah.
either.
And as you play through different quests, you're playing through stories, through set stories. You level up your character, and you keep that character just like you would in an RPG. You level up that character, you get new things, better things, more life, more spells, more armor. Except for me, because I picked, she was awesome, but she
Yeah.
could not wear armor or carry weapons. So now, if we're running through the forest and someone has dropped a crossbow, we could pick it up and take a few shots with it.
Oh yeah,
But when we got out of the forest and the quest ended, we had to throw it away.
yeah. Basically, you
It
have to
was so sad.
reset your deck to a certain number of weapon cards and spell cards and item cards, and you can use the new ones you got in that quest or keep the old ones. But either way, when you start the next one, you have a certain percentage of each kind in your
Yeah.
deck, and that grows over time, but slower.
Slowly. Very slowly.
But that one also has expansion decks where you buy them, and you know exactly what's in them going in. They're intended more to be played in series, though.
Yeah, you
There's
play
only
those
you buy like the big base box, and then there's 6.
expansions that are
adventure
released
packs.
over. We could not keep up with Pathfinder. They just released way faster than we could play. I have heard that they're going to slow down those releases a little bit.
Yeah,
Is that what
there's
you
a-
said?
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
skipped an entire. There's a no.
There's a
It's a
whole other
pirate one.
big game in between.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but there was the Rise of the Ring Lords, some pirate one, and then the Wrath of the Righteous, which
And
is
we had
kind
to
of this
skip
year's.
it all together.
Um,
There were not enough hours in the day to play all the way through them. I was sad to skip that one, then I would know. If I see it on clearance somewhere, sometime really cheap, I would probably still pick it up and hope to play it someday. Making its second appearance in a row on the list is Dungeons and Dragons. I finally feel like after a year that I have got being DM under my belt. Our last game was a tromp through a huge dungeon of the year. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I had so much fun. It's the first time that I really felt like I knew what I was doing and understood and I will say that playing things like Legend of Drizzt and Wrath of Ashardalon and Pathfinder, which are all board games based on RPGs, having done that for a couple years has really helped me grasp the system because I did not play D&D growing up. So it's a whole new concept for me. And I was really afraid that being DM was going to be a huge mistake, but it was not. I really like it. My son just screamed, "Victory is now in sight." He's the best.
yes.
Making its second appearance,
It skipped a year.
it skipped a year, is
Mansions of Madness. This is also from Fantasy Flight Games.
I also play evil in this game. Oh my goodness, I love playing the evil people. It's the most fun ever.
This is set in their Arkham Cthulhu Lovecraft universe, and it is set kind of in the 1920s, where you're basically investigators, and you're going into some mansion or house or
Laboratory.
laboratory. One
something.
was a school, and so the quest is set up. Well,
Evil.
yes,
I-
she sets up the quest and lays out different cards and arrangements based on.
I get to pick the
Choices.
story and where the story is going to go. And where they're going to find certain items. That's all in the keeper. The role is called the keeper setup. And then they come in as investigators and tromp around, and I try to
Try to
kill
kill
them.
us.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, the last game we played,
I
It
lost that game.
it was our first game of. Wasn't our first game of
It was our first game. No,
2016?
Pandemic Legacy was our first game of this year.
Yes. It was our second game of 2016. And it was awesome. But we all lost because the conditions were for me to win, I had to kill 2 investigators. And for the investigators to win, all 3 of them had to get out alive.
Oh, that's not even the one I was thinking of. We played it twice this year.
We
I was
played
thinking of
twice
the
this
second game.
No, let's not even go there.
Yeah,
Um,
it was awesome.
It was
but
awesome.
I also lost that one.
But I managed to only kill Charles. So only 1 investigator died, but only 2 got out alive. So after an hour of play, everybody lost.
But we had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, then
It's
when
great.
we introduced our friends, it was the first time everybody else in the group had played that, and
And they
seemed
fell
to
in
enjoy it.
love. Which is how it ended up on the list because it's my sister's favorite game right now, and they really had fun with it. I had an apprentice. It was so fun to be an like evil schoolmaster and apprenticing him and teaching him all the ways of evil. So fun, so fun. But yeah, there were more people interested in playing, and he was interested in my role, so he sat with me and I kind of talked him through setup, which was fun. It is the most setup intensive game we own.
Yeah.
It takes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour to set up every single time. Which is why it was not on the 10 by 10 last year because we just couldn't.
Yeah.
Number 6 is Eldritch Horror. It is a fantasy flight.
Yep.
Also set in
Their Arkham universe.
Arkham Lovecraftian universe.
And some of the characters even cross over between. In fact, all these go back to, I guess, one of their earlier Cthulhu games was Arkham Horror. And this is kind of the newer, more streamlined version of it, where you're still. It's cooperative.
It's
and it
cooperative.
goes 1 to 8.
Yeah.
We played it once with 6 players and took like
It's too
4.5
many.
hours. Don't do that.
I think it's too many to play with that many players.
I think probably more than 4 people, it gets really long. We do enjoy it, and it's also a lot of fun.
Number 7 is making its first appearance. Pandemic has made previous appearances, but this is Pandemic Legacy's first appearance on our 10 by 10 list. It is a cooperative game. Pandemic is a cooperative game where you're trying to keep pandemics from overrunning the whole entire world. Pandemic Legacy is the new scenario-based play through it one time, up to 24 plays, and see if you can win. We are playing it with 2 different game groups. We are knee deep into it with both, but there are plenty of plays left that between the 2 game groups we're playing with, we can get 10 plays out of it. So, and I talked about that extensively just a few episodes ago. So if you would like all the details on it, it's a great game. See that.
Yeah.
Making its first appearance on a 10 by 10 game from us is
7 Wonders. This is one of the first games we got.
it was.
It's card drafting, so kind of like Sushi Go.
Take a card past your hand.
Yep. And in fact, it was kind of the introductory card drafting game people recommended until Sushi Go came out. And that's kind of that one's a little more streamlined as well. 7 Wonders, you are trying to build one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and you draw.
The theme is really irrelevant, just for the record, completely irrelevant to the gameplay.
You draw cards that will give you victory points or technologies or materials to build things. So stone and brick and iron and cloth, and there's like 8 of them. So basically, you're ultimately trying to collect sets of things, and those sets let you build more sets later on.
So
I
this
enjoy
is a game that we will probably get the 2-player version for it. To play with 2 players with the original game,
It's kind of weird.
you have to build
Well, you got like a dummy player.
so that everybody has to play part of to keep the game balanced, and it's just too much work. But there is a 2-version player, Wonders Duel, that we will probably get, and
Yeah,
we
and it just
introduced
came
this.
out
It's
a month or
new.
2 ago.
We introduced this to our New Mexico gaming group, and they really liked it. So that's how it ended up on the list. In fact, we accidentally brought,
Yeah, their copy home,
which is
Is it
not their
ours?
copy. They brought it home from some of their family to learn how to play it. So sorry, Thatchers, we have your copy of 7 Wonders. Oops, it will come back with us in February.
Its second time.
Its second time, it skipped a year, is Legendary, which is a cooperative deck building game set in the Marvel universes and all of its various expansions. It has been a featured game in the past, so there's lots of information out there about it. It's one of my all-time favorite games,
Yeah.
easily top 10.
So this is one her sister owns.
My sister
keeps getting the expansions for her, and it's
Have you known
keep
the
getting
team?
better.
It's amazing,
We
amazing.
played the Secret Wars expansion for it last week.
It was
It was
vicious.
awesome.
It was awesome.
Both, yes.
I'm calling this its third appearance.
Yeah.
Even though technically it's its first appearance, is the D&D board game Temple of Elemental Evil. We have had one of these on the list every year. In 2014, we played Legend of Drizzt. In 2015, we played Wrath of Ashardalon. And this year, we'll play Temple of Elemental Evil. And this is a board game style.
Yeah, you got a stack of dungeon map tiles. They're all squares. You turn them one over and kind of explore through it. So the map grows randomly each play. There's some kind of objective and quest you're doing,
Yeah.
and monsters will come
So
out and
the
fight you.
board and the story serve as your DM, and
Yeah.
you play as characters that you can level up and enjoy. And you can mix and match enemies. We haven't done any of that.
Yeah,
But Wrath of Ashardalon, which we just finished up with, has gone to live in the little boy's room. It's his new favorite thing to create new stories on. So
Yes,
I love to
because
watch them
there's
take our
a
board
dragon
games.
miniature that's probably like 5 or 6 inches tall.
Pretty fun.
A Chartalon.
Ashardalon. Number 11, we do not own yet, but it's on the list, and this is on the list at request of the Girl Geekling, is called Tail Feathers, Tail Feathers. It is a miniatures war game
Yeah.
based in the Mice and Mystics world. So we've been watching its progress for over a year now.
Yeah.
And so
It just came out late this fall as well.
Yeah.
And you've got the mice, and some of them are riding birds, and they're fighting against the rats and vermin that are living in the forest, and they're crows and hawks, and so you've got
it's going to
they're flying around, and you've got ground forces that move around. It looks really, really cool.
It really does. And our alternate this year is also our game of the week, and it is
Carnivore Koala.
Carnivore Koala. You are playing as koalas who are living in a post-eucalyptic world. There is no eucalyptus left. Everyone has mutated into bizarre beasts in the aftermath of the apocalypse, and so now you have to, the koalas to survive have had to become carnivores. And so the whole point of the game is to build a village around your leader. You have a leader bear.
The art on this is
The art is
hilarious
a
and
riot.
bit disturbing.
These are some of the leader bears. They are this color card. So you have your king and queen bears, and they have a special ability. And around them, you are trying to build a village that will give you both the knowledge and the skills to acquire different types of food. And these are,
These
is-
are all. Oh well, I guess we'll start with what you're hunting.
yes, your
Mutant animals.
mutant animals. This is a croco ray, so crocodile and ray. And to eat this, you would need someone in your village that knows how to find reptiles and someone who knows how to find fish.
So you can find fish.
He cannot. He can find mammals.
There we go. This one can find
Both.
lizards and birds.
Birds. So if you had those two out in your village of bears, and you had an appropriate number of spears, which are these, you can hunt for the animal that you're hunting for. Once you've hunted for it, it comes and lives with you, and once you've collected an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert, your village wins. Your actions are determined by dice, by rolls. If you roll a crown, you can activate the ability on your king bear. A spear counts as a spear to hunt with, or
Yeah.
some of your hunting bears will require a spear to activate that card.
The Highlander bear.
The Highlander bear, you have to put either a koala die or a spear die on to activate him. So you can use those either to hunt with or to activate cards in your village. The koala bear is used exclusively to activate cards in your village, and lots of cards you lay out need koalas to activate.
Yep.
This is a card, and so you can draw an extra card up into your hand. And the last one is a skull, and that means you have to kill off a bear someone in your village at the end of your turn.
Yep. Occasionally, there are also bears that activate with skulls.
Yes, so they can work to your advantage.
Yeah.
There's a limit to how many cards you can have in your hand, so sometimes it is worth it to discard a card to re-roll your hand. So you can re-roll your entire hand for the cost of a card out of your hand.
Yep. Or just part of it. If some of the dice you want to keep, reroll the
Yep.
others, it still costs one card, whether it's one die or all five.
Yep. So it's very fast playing. Oh, I didn't give its vital stats.
Oh, I think they're on this box.
It's Voodoo Games. We backed it on Kickstarter.
Yeah. And I think they're out of Germany. I know it's somewhere in Europe. It is ages 12 and up, 2 to 6 players, 20 to 40 minutes.
I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
We have the Grave Bear expansion.
Yes.
We've only played with it once. I kind of feel like it threw the balance off in our hand between.
Yeah. We kept not drawing enough of these guys to help us find the
We
animals.
had tons of hunters and no knowledge bears with different knowledge of how to hunt animals. So it
Yeah.
dragged on just a little bit. We have enjoyed every time we've played. We've
Yeah.
played it 3 or 4 times. Obviously, we enjoyed it enough to put it on the 10 by 10 list because it's fast, it's fun. I kind of suspect, and this is not a negative, just where it falls in the gaming hierarchy, that eventually it will become a little bit like Munchkin, which we play once or twice a year, mostly not to compete, but because the cards are hilarious and it's fun to play. So eventually we will probably just play it a few times a year because it's fun and it's silly. And the cards are a riot. We're still discovering cards that,
There's a barbarian
yes,
and fortune teller.
there's an RPG bear where your role-playing bear can pretend to be someone
I
in
thought I just saw
a
one.
different village.
Whale bear. So their sense of humor is at least right up our alley.
Right up our alley.
And by these cards that we've shown already, you can tell if it's up yours or not.
Yes.
Um,
Our daughter is not a huge fan. She thinks that koalas are a little bit disturbing, and they are.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
grab
think they're
her the way it does for
hilarious,
us.
but obviously no one is forced to game at our game table at any time.
Yeah.
So,
But as far as jumping in and playing it, it's very straightforward to play. There are a lot of these cards where you're messing with other people's koalas because your tribe of bears, anyone you don't use on your turn, stays out there, and so you can kind of build them over the game, which is great. It also lets the other players snipe your bears and pull them
steal
over
them,
there,
rearrange them, curse them,
get rid of them.
all sorts of
Yeah.
wicked things you
It
can
was
do.
like a
to
mafia
other people.
bear. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, but can get a little competitive.
Yeah, it can
Um,
be. I don't always like it. I really enjoy games where I can sit and build my village, and if I built my village the best, then I win, as opposed to people messing with what I'm working on. So this game had the potential to hurt my feelings a little bit. One, we don't play real vicious, but 2, it's fast and it's funny. I have more trouble with that in games where
It's like heavier, or you're playing for an hour and a half, and then somebody comes in and ruins all your stuff.
what is the ideal example of that? Oh, worker placement games. I'm looking at you. What's that one called? The one I hate the most.
Waterdeep?
Yes, Lords of Waterdeep. Where you can block people out really easily. You can keep people from getting what they need really easily. And if you mess up really early, you're stuck for 2 hours playing with a. Doesn't take normal people 2 hours. It takes me 2 hours. You're stuck playing in a game you've already lost. And I really don't enjoy that. I really don't enjoy continuing to play games that I've already lost in. But that's beside the point. Carnivore
Yep.
Koala is not like that. It's fast, it's easy. Losing has not hurt. I have not won a single time. It has not hurt my feelings to lose. It's fun, it's silly. It's
It's just a really good time.
morbid is not the right word. I
no,
find glue a
macabre.
little boring. Yes.
It's very macabre humor.
And irreverent.
Yeah.
So, I like it.
Yep.
I like
Yeah,
it a lot.
it's, I believe, on store shelves now as well.
I think so.
We got this a couple months ago. I think it's hit retail at this point.
So, Voodoo Games, Carnivore Koala, we recommended enough to put it on our 12 by 10 list.
Yeah.
So, come and join the group if you haven't.
Mhm.
Play along on Facebook. Not
No.
Facebook.
Instagram,
There's nothing on Facebook for
these challenges.
these challenges. Nothing. Play along on Instagram. Play along in the group. Come and let me know who you are and what you're playing. Let me see your game shelf. All those fun things. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll see you again in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye.